Picture this. It's 3 in the morning in a Capuchin monastery. A brother walks past the chapel and stops, startled. There's Padre Pio, kneeling before the tabernacle, his face soaked with tears. When gently asked what's wrong, Padre Pio looks up with pain-filled eyes and whispers, "Today, the heart of Jesus suffers more than it did on the cross because of the forgetfulness of his children." Can you imagine hearing those words? Here's what most people don't realize. June 27th isn't just another date. This is the feast of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and according to Padre Pio, it's one of the most crucial days of the year. Yet millions let it pass like nothing. But here's what might surprise you. While you're going about your day, unaware of this sacred feast, you might be committing errors that wound the very heart of Christ. Errors that made this holy man weep in the night. Most shocking, these errors seem completely innocent, things you might do without thinking twice. Today, I'm sharing the 3 specific mistakes Padre Pio warned against on the Feast of the Sacred Heart. These aren't abstract ideas. They're real, practical errors that can block the graces Jesus wants to pour into your life. The first error almost everyone falls into. The second is encouraged by our culture. The third, Padre Pio called it most dangerous because it doesn't just wound Jesus' heart, it closes it to us. If you've wondered why prayers sometimes hit a wall, or why you feel spiritually dry despite trying to be faithful, what I'm about to share might be your answer. Before we dive in, if you believe in Padre Pio's intercession and want to honor the Sacred Heart this June 27th, write in the comments, "Sacred Heart, have mercy on us." Your simple act of faith might be exactly what someone else needs to see. Jesus didn't reveal his Sacred Heart devotion casually. When he appeared to St. Margaret Mary Alacoque, he made clear this devotion was urgent remedy for a world growing cold in love. Jesus said, "Behold this heart, which has so loved mankind that it has spared nothing, even exhausting itself to testify its love. In return, I receive from most people only ingratitude." That was 300 years ago. The world has grown even colder. But here's the beautiful truth Padre Pio understood. You don't have to be part of that coldness. You can console Jesus' heart instead of wounding it. Stay with me, because what I'm revealing could transform how you experience not just June 27th, but your entire relationship with Jesus. To understand why these errors are serious, we need to go back to the beginning. In 1673, young French nun Margaret Mary Alacoque was praying when Jesus appeared, not in a dream, but real as you and I talking. Jesus showed her his heart, visible through his chest, crowned with thorns, wounded by a lance, surrounded by flames. But this heart was crying real tears. Jesus spoke, "My heart is so inflamed with love for mankind that it must spread these flames through your means." Then came the heartbreaking part. "I receive from most people only ingratitude, through their irreverence and coldness in this sacrament of love." The God who created galaxies was showing his wounded heart and asking for consolation. This was an emergency call from heaven. Padre Pio experienced something unique. He didn't just pray to the Sacred Heart, he felt it beating within his chest. In private letters, he described feeling a burning flame that intensified during prayer. He wrote, "Sometimes I feel Christ's very heart pulsing within me, and I understand his pain in a terrifying way." This wasn't metaphor. Padre Pio, who bore Christ's wounds for 50 years, experienced mystical union with the Sacred Heart few souls have known. Because of this connection, Padre Pio could see how certain actions literally pierced Jesus' heart. His warnings aren't just spiritual advice, they're urgent messages from someone practically living inside Christ's heart. Here's the first error: loving an ardent God with a lukewarm heart. Before you think that doesn't apply to me, consider this. Padre Pio said, "Christ doesn't fear the devil, but he trembles before the coldness of his own people." The same Jesus who cast out demons, calmed storms, rose from death, he trembles. Not before Satan or persecution, but before lukewarmness. What does spiritual coldness look like? You know June 27th is Sacred Heart Feast, but do nothing special. You might attend Mass, but your mind wanders. You pray, but it's checking a box rather than conversing with someone you love. It's saying, "I love you, Jesus," with the enthusiasm of, "I need milk from the store." Jesus isn't just seeking obedience or rule following. He wants hearts, passion, fire. This is the Sacred Heart, center of emotion, love, passion. Approaching this burning heart with coldness is like throwing ice water on flame. Padre Pio spent hours before the Blessed Sacrament, not from obligation, but because he couldn't stay away. He felt consumed by love for Jesus, sometimes so intense his chest felt ready to burst. There's a documented account of Padre Pio during one June 27th celebration. A brother found him in chapel at dawn, and when he approached, he could actually feel heat radiating from Padre Pio's body. When asked about it later, Padre Pio simply said, "When you're close to fire, you get warm. When you're close to the Sacred Heart, you burn." That's what the Sacred Heart seeks. Not perfect theology or behavior, but passionate love. How do you know if you're falling into this error? When did you last feel excited about spending time with Jesus? When did you last feel that burning Padre Pio described? Good news, this is fixable. June 27th is perfect for reigniting that fire. Wake up earlier on June 27th, not because you must, but to give the Sacred Heart your day's first and best part. Spend those minutes in passionate prayer. Tell Jesus specifically why you love him. Thank him for specific things. Ask him to set your heart ablaze like Padre Pio's. If possible, attend Mass specifically to console the Sacred Heart. Really be present. Really participate. Padre Pio said, "The Mass is the summit of our spiritual life. Everything else is just climbing the mountain." Throughout the day, practice little flames of love. Every few hours, stop and say with genuine feeling, "Jesus, I love you." Don't just say it, mean it, feel it. And if you want to go deeper into this spirituality that transformed Padre Pio's life, we've created something special, an ebook called The Spiritual Secrets of Saint Padre Pio, containing powerful prayers, reflections, and practical advice this great saint used to maintain burning love for the Sacred Heart. You'll find the link pinned in the comments below. Jesus would rather have one heart burning with love than 1,000 merely correct hearts. The second error, ignoring the call to reparation. Reparation sounds old-fashioned, you might think. But reparation isn't outdated, it's more necessary than ever. When Jesus revealed his Sacred Heart, he specifically asked for reparation. "I thirst for reparation from chosen souls. I want them to make amends for coldness, irreverence, sacrileges, and sins committed against my heart of love." Simply put, reparation means making up for wounds others inflict on Jesus' heart, loving on behalf of those who don't love, saying yes when the world says no. Padre Pio understood this profoundly. He offered prayers, sufferings, even his stigmata as reparation for others' sins. He'd spend entire nights praying, knowing somewhere people were offending Jesus' heart and someone needed to make amends. One of Padre Pio's spiritual children asked why he seemed to suffer more during certain times. Padre Pio responded, "When the world offends God more, someone must love God more. When the world grows colder toward the Sacred Heart, someone must burn hotter with love." Our culture lost the reparation concept. We're taught I'm only responsible for myself. But that's not how love works. If someone you love is hurt, you don't just watch, you act. Reality, daily, Jesus' heart is wounded by millions of acts of indifference, blasphemy, hatred, sin. Every time someone takes God's name in vain, commits adultery, chooses hatred over love, Jesus' heart feels it. But every act of reparation applies healing balm to those wounds. In 1921, young Giuseppina's family was falling apart. Her alcoholic father had abandoned faith. Her brother left home and wouldn't speak to family, the household filled with anger and despair. On Sacred Heart Feast that year, Giuseppina decided to offer reparation, not just for her family, but for all families rejecting God's love. She fasted, not for herself, but in reparation for sins against family life wounding Jesus' heart. Within 6 months, her father experienced profound conversion and returned to church. Within a year, her brother came home and reconciled. Darkness became peace and faith. When we offer reparation to the Sacred Heart, we don't just console Jesus, we open grace channels that transform families, communities. What does reparation look like on June 27th? Offer prayers specifically to console the Sacred Heart for those who don't pray. Attend Mass for those who should be there but aren't. Make sacrifices, skip coffee, fast from social media, pray extra rosary, specifically for those living pure self-indulgence. At 3 p.m. when Jesus died, pray, Jesus, I offer this moment to console your heart for all indifferent to your love. Reparation makes you Jesus' partner in saving souls. You actively heal his heart's wounds instead of just avoiding making new ones. The third and most devastating error, asking mercy from Jesus' heart while refusing mercy to others. Padre Pio was gentle, but on this topic, absolutely fierce. He told a penitent, "You want God's forgiveness, but deny yours to your neighbor." Hypocrite, Jesus' heart closes to those who won't forgive. Strong words, but Padre Pio understood the direct connection between mercy we show others and mercy we receive from God. Millions will approach the Sacred Heart on June 27th asking forgiveness, grace, mercy. But how many harbor resentment, hold grudges, refuse to forgive someone who hurt them? Jesus said, "Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us." Notice "as," meaning direct correlation. Matthew's Gospel is explicit. If you do not forgive others, neither will your Father forgive you. This error particularly wounds the Sacred Heart because Jesus knows what it's like to be betrayed, abandoned, hurt by those he loved most. Yet from the cross, with nails in his hands, he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." When we come to this same Jesus asking mercy while refusing to forgive someone who maybe said something unkind, can you see how that breaks his heart? Padre Pio saw this contradiction everywhere. He'd tell people, "You pray to Jesus' heart daily, but you've made your own heartstone toward your brother." How can love flow into a heart that won't let love flow out? There's a documented case of a woman who came to Padre Pio for confession, complaining God wasn't answering her prayers. When Padre Pio asked about forgiveness, she revealed she hadn't spoken to her sister in 15 years over inheritance dispute. Padre Pio told her, "My daughter, you're asking Jesus to open his heart to you while you keep yours locked against your sister. The key that opens the Sacred Heart is the same key that opens your heart to forgiveness." She was offended and left, but came back 3 days later having made peace with her sister. With tears, she told Padre Pio, "Father, the moment I forgave her, I felt the Sacred Heart open to me like never before." But you don't understand what they did, you might think. Some things are unforgivable. Jesus knows exactly what you've been through, and his response remains, "Forgive." Not because they deserve it, not because what they did was okay, not because you must trust them again, but because your soul needs freedom from resentment's poison. Holding unforgiveness is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. More importantly, when you forgive, you become like the Sacred Heart. You reflect mercy Jesus showed from the cross. You become a living image of love the Sacred Heart wants to pour out. For June 27th, before approaching the Sacred Heart asking mercy, examine your heart. Anyone you need to forgive, any resentment you're carrying, You don't have to call them or restore relationship, but you must release anger, stop wishing harm, let go of revenge desire. If forgiveness feels impossible, pray Padre Pio's prayer. Jesus, I don't feel ready to forgive, but I want to forgive. Change my heart. Help me forgive as you've forgiven me. Here's your practical checklist for June 27th. Avoid spiritual coldness. Start by consciously offering your day to the Sacred Heart. Mean it. Tell Jesus, this day belongs to you. Attend Mass specifically to console the Sacred Heart. Set phone reminders to say, Jesus, I love you throughout the day, but really mean it. Embrace reparation. Offer specific sacrifice. Skip coffee, fast from social media, pray extra rosary, specifically for those who offend the Sacred Heart. At 3 p.m., pray, Jesus, I offer this moment to console your heart for all indifferent to your love. Practice forgiveness. Before June 27th, examine your conscience. Anyone you need to forgive? Any resentment you're carrying? Release the anger. Let go of revenge desire. Padre Pio's personal Sacred Heart prayer. O Sacred Heart of Jesus, who loves us so much, make me love you more and more. Transform my heart into reflection of yours. Forgive my sins, accept my reparation acts, and teach me to love as you love. Amen. This isn't just about one day. June 27th is meant to be renewal, fresh start, recommitment to living in union with the Sacred Heart daily. Before we finish, I want to share something Padre Pio said that changed everything for me. Someone asked why Sacred Heart devotion was so important to him. Padre Pio paused, touched his chest, and said, "When I pray to the Sacred Heart, I'm not praying to something far away. I'm praying to the heart that beats within me. I'm praying to the love that keeps me alive. I'm praying to the fire that consumes me." Then he said something that still gives chills. If you could see what I see when I look at the Sacred Heart, you would never commit another sin. You would never be cold toward God again. You would spend your entire life consoling this heart that loves you more than you love yourself. That's the vision I want you to carry as June 27th approaches. This isn't just about avoiding 3 errors. This is about encountering love so profound, personal, passionate, that it changes everything about how you live. Jesus' heart isn't abstract theological concept. It's the real beating heart of God who became human because he couldn't bear separation from you. The heart that felt every emotion you've felt, the heart broken on the cross because it loved you that much. That same heart is alive today. Right now, Jesus' heart beats with love for you. Not humanity in general, you specifically. He knows your name, struggles, dreams, and loves you with literally infinite love. But he's waiting for you to love him back with same passion. Waiting for you to console him when others wound him. Waiting for you to be hands, feet, and heart of his love in a cold world. June 27th is your opportunity to answer that waiting, your chance to say, Jesus, I don't want to be lukewarm anymore. I don't want to ignore pain you feel when others reject you. I don't want to wound your heart by refusing to forgive. Your chance to say, I want to be like Padre Pio. I want to feel your heart beating within mine. I want to love you the way you deserve. Padre Pio said, if we truly understood the value of a single act of pure love toward Jesus' heart, we would die of joy. Don't let this opportunity pass. Console the heart wounded by so many. Love the heart that loves you beyond measure. If these teachings touched your heart, write in comments, Jesus, I love you. Let your declaration console the Sacred Heart and encourage others watching. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe if you want to continue growing in your relationship with Jesus through the saints' wisdom. Most importantly, mark June 27th on your calendar, not as just another day, but as your personal day of reparation and love for the Sacred Heart. The world needs people like that. The church needs people like that. Jesus' heart needs people like that, and I know you can be one of those people. So mark your calendar, Prepare your heart. Get ready to experience Sacred Heart Feast in a way that transforms not just that day, but the rest of your life. Because when you truly encounter the Sacred Heart, when you really understand how much Jesus loves you, everything changes. Your prayer changes. Your relationships change. Your entire life perspective changes. That's exactly what Padre Pio would want for you. That's exactly what Jesus' heart is hoping for. The question is, are you ready to give it to him?